Hey folks, how's it going? This is Mr. Murray coming to you with a do now for Course 1 Honors for Wednesday, April 8th, 2020. Alright, so in this do now, what we need to do is we need to, for each of the three equations you see here, 1, identify the method that you could use to solve it. There might be more than one, you could use both. And remember, your options are factoring or roots, and then go ahead and solve. Okay, so please pause the video, identify the solution method, solve, get all solutions in as simple form as you can, and then when you're ready, unpause, and I'll show you what I got. All right, we're going to start with this first one. So here, the existence of a b tells me that the method that I need to use is factoring. So I'll start by making the right-hand side 0. 10r squared minus, so as again, 10r squared minus 19r plus 7 is 0. All right, so I know that this has to be -7 and -1. And the reason I know that is because we can see that I need to multiply to a positive. So remember, that means that either these numbers are going to both be positive or both negative. But we also need to add to a negative, right? And so we know that a negative plus a negative is a negative, and a negative times a negative is a positive. So that's where this comes from. Now, 10r squared. There's only two ways to get 10, and that's 10 and 1 and 5 and 2. So let's check those first. As it turns out, if we make this 2r and this 5r, we get -14r because it's -7 times 2 and -5r there. And so those add up. So we get 5r minus 7, 2r minus 1 is 0. So our solutions are 7/5 and 1/2. Okay, because you set the factors each individually to 0 and solve. Please make sure you understand how I did that. Next one, what I want to do is this method. We're gonna have to use square roots. We could use factoring, but we'd have to first expand this out using the box, and that would be a lot more trouble than, for example, just minusing 5. That gives us 2k plus 7 squared equals 162. Then we take the root on both sides. So the root cancels the square. That gives us 2k plus 7. And then here we need a square root. So it's going to be plus or minus because it's a positive in the root. And now we know that 162 you can actually show is equal to 81 times 2. And so therefore the square root of 162 equals the square root of 81 times the square root of 2. And the square root of 81 is 9. And the square root of 2 remains the square root of 2. And now we just have to get k alone. So first we'd minus 7. So 2k equals -7 plus or minus 9 root 2. Right, these can't combine because the 7 doesn't have a root 2 with it. And then we divide, and we get k equals -7 plus or minus, and by the way, this is a 2. 9 root 2 over 2. All right, definitely a more challenging one. If you didn't get this, that's okay. But just remember the idea behind how we solve. That's the most important thing there. If you did get it right, really good job. All right, down to the last one. Again, we're going to have a b, so it's going to tell me what I want to be doing is factoring. So here I'm going to -8 minus 8. So I get 800g squared plus 160g plus 8 is equal to 0, right? Because we want to make it 0. Now I'm going to take out my greatest common factor of 8. That's 100. This is plus 20. And this is, it's like plus 1. Nice. So I'm going to factor, and I'm only going to work on the inside. And so here we've got 10g, 10g, and here we've got plus 1, because then that gives me 10g and 10g for 100g, or rather not 100g, 10 plus 10, which is 20g. So I have 8 times 10g plus 1, 10g plus 1. So it's 8 times 10g plus 1 squared is 0. So basically, I only want to worry about this right here. So 10g plus 1 is 0. So I had to subtract the 1, divide by 10. So g equals negative 1/10. All right. So again, recapping our solutions. For the first one, we factor, we subtract the 5r squared, do the box, and what we end up getting is 5r minus 7 times 2r minus 1. So our solutions are 7/5 and 1/2. Okay, on the second, doing square roots. So first we're subtracting 5. We're taking the root on both sides, noticing that 162 breaks down as 9 root 2. And then we're subtracting 7 and dividing by 2 to get the k value alone. Finally here, we've got to use factoring due to the b value. So we subtract 8 to get the right-hand side equal to 0. Here we notice a common factor, which saves us the hassle of having to put 800g squared in the box. We remove the greatest common factor. Okay, we factor what's left, and it turns out to be a perfect square, 10g plus 1 squared. All right, and then once we break that down, we get our one solution of negative 1/10. So hopefully you found this video to be helpful and that you were able to get the right solutions. Please keep working at it and make sure you check out today's lessons. But keep it up. Best of luck. Don't forget to love math. And remember, you can do it. Thanks again for watching, and have a wonderful day.